Actors, musicians, YouTube stars, comedians, plenty of high-profile celebrities destroyed their careers in 2018 for a wide variety of reasons. Between serious allegations, big beefs, and tempestuous tweets, these stars have wreaked lasting havoc on their futures in the entertainment industry. James Gunn faced a lot of fallout for old tweets in 2018. The Guardians of the Galaxy director and writer was fired from the hit Marvel franchise for offensive tweets dating back nearly a decade. The post featured jokes about subjects as dark as the Holocaust and pedophilia. Gunn responded in July 2018 via a series of since-deleted tweets. Many people who have followed my career know when I started. I viewed myself as a provocateur, making movies and telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. I am very, very different than I was a few years ago. My days saying something just because it's shocking and trying to get a reaction are over. Unfortunately for Gunn, it was too little too late for Disney, and they parted ways with the writer-director after the tweets resurfaced in July. Even after petitions and protests from the Guardians cast, particularly from Dave Bautista, Gunn's career with Disney is over. However, DC did hire him for the sequel to 2016's Suicide Squad, so perhaps he'll salvage some standing in the industry. Luke Cage star Mike Colter was looking forward to a third season of the Marvel Netflix series when he made a really inappropriate joke about a pastor at Aretha Franklin's funeral allegedly groping pop star Ariana Grande. In a since-deleted tweet, Colter wrote, alongside laughing face emojis, "Now this is how you shoot your shot. No f***s." The internet did not like this, especially considering the sexual assault trauma themes in Luke Cage's sister series, Jessica Jones. Colter apologized in another since-deleted tweet, writing, "Hello all, I apologize about my tweet earlier. In no way do I condone any such behavior. It was intended to point out the absurdity of the act itself. Complete and biting sarcasm. I realized quickly that it was not taken as such." About a month later, Netflix announced that Luke Cage wouldn't be renewed for a third season. It's pretty unclear if the act had anything to do with Colter's remarks, but the timing seems uncanny.
Sweet Christmas.
Evan Felker, frontman of the Turnpike Troubadours, got the chance of a lifetime when Miranda Lambert handpicked his band to open for her on tour. However, when the pair got romantically involved, allegedly while he was married and while she was still dating Anderson East, things got complicated. A source told People that Felker ghosted his wife Stacey when he went on tour, then blindsided her with divorce papers. Unfortunately for Felker, Lambert's flame for him apparently burned out very fast. By August 2018, they'd split, with Lambert announcing that she was single and ready to mingle. Days later, Felker quit Lambert's tour, allegedly because of kidney stones. He later issued a statement on his band's Instagram. "We are working through some family and medical issues that have made it impossible for us to be on tour." Family issues, huh? Let's be clear, Nicki Minaj will go down in history as one of the most successful rap artists of all time. That said, she spent the bulk of 2018 tarnishing her legacy with pointless feuds that hurt her bottom line. In July 2018, Minaj got an intern at an entertainment blog fired for tweeting about the direction of Minaj's music, writing, "You know how dope it would be if Nicki put out mature content? She's touching 40 soon. A new direction is needed." Minaj harassed the writer, even targeting her 4-year-old daughter and telling the blogger to kill herself. Minaj also lashed out at rapper Travis Scott on social media for selling his Astroworld album with bundles that included clothing and concert tickets, beating her Queen album for the top spot on the Billboard 200 in August 2018. She blamed a Nicki hate train for her album's lackluster reception and postponed her tour. Sources told Page Six ticket sales were abysmal. And then there's her ongoing feud with rapper Cardi B, who is clearly battling Minaj for her kingdom and winning. Comedian and actress Monique may have curtailed her stand-up career after criticizing Netflix for allegedly lowballing her in contract negotiations. She called for a boycott of the service based on what she claimed was racism and sexism. She compared her $500,000 offer with the tens of millions offered to Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Amy Schumer, specifically calling out Schumer's bankability after her movie Snatched flopped. That, of course, ignored the fact that Schumer's Netflix contract was signed when she'd sold out Madison Square Garden and was still riding a career high from Trainwreck. Perhaps what put the final nail in Monique's career coffin was comparing her salary negotiations to being raped while speaking to Sway Colloway on his radio show Sway's Universe.
Did you ask any of the white women to apologize when they said they were violated by Harvey Weinstein? Did you ask any of them to be humble?
Monique previously accused heavy hitters like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry of blackballing her from the industry after she refused to promote Precious, the film that earned Monique an Academy Award. Whoopi Goldberg even slammed Monique's conduct to her face on The View.
When you make a movie, regardless of who you signed the deal with,
Yes.
your job is to go and promote said movie.
Though Netflix has not responded publicly to Monique's remarks, she has no specials lined up to date. Sean Penn is an Oscar-winning actor, but it's not his on-screen skills that are dead in the water. It's his budding career as a novelist. The notoriously temperamental star released his debut book, Bob Honey Who Just Do Stuff, in which he attempts to satirize American culture and even mocks the #MeToo movement. The book hasn't sold well, and critics have not been kind.
Well, that sure made us LOL.
Laugh out loud?
No, lose our lunch.
The Guardian called Penn's debut novel repellent and stupid. The New York Times labeled it plotless, as well as conspicuously unfun. The Washington Post wondered what the heck Penn was thinking, and Huffington Post called it a garbage novel. We're not saying Penn should necessarily stick to acting and leave the novel writing to someone else. We're just saying it sounds like as a writer, Penn's a really good actor. Comedian and actor TJ Miller seemed to hurt his career in 2017 when he left HBO's Silicon Valley. But it wasn't until 2018 that Miller's conduct on the set was revealed. Sources told The Hollywood Reporter that Miller frequently fell asleep during filming and often showed up late and unprepared, causing delays. Some insiders hinted that Miller may have had issues with self-medicating and alleged his temper could flare. Miller pushed back. He told THR, "I'm not high when I work because it gets in the way of the comedy. I also am not a guy who's blackout drunk bumping into things on set. What was occurring was I was out doing stand-up all the time, even if it meant I only got 3 hours of sleep. So the thing I have a problem with, it's pushing myself to do too much." Then in July 2018, former Silicon Valley actress Alice Wetterland accused Miller of bullying her on set, which he also denied. But regardless of what Miller did or didn't do while filming Silicon Valley, something much more disturbing happened a few months before Wetterland's accusations. Miller was arrested in April 2018 for allegedly reporting a fake bomb threat on an Amtrak train, causing massive delays. The Blast reported in September 2018 that Miller may be pursuing a plea bargain in the case. At the NBA All-Star Game in February 2018, Fergie decided to, quote, try something special during the national anthem. It was special, alright. Her weird vocal runs, jazz inflections, and bizarre gestures made her performance of the Star-Spangled Banner go viral, for all the wrong reasons.
By the dawn's early light.
A lot of viewers were less than impressed with Fergie's rendition. The singer responded by telling TMZ, "I'm a risk-taker artistically, but clearly this rendition didn't strike the intended tone. I love this country and honestly tried my best." But some sources say she wasn't apologetic at all. An insider told Us Weekly, neither Fergie nor her team thought anything was wrong with her national anthem rendition. That's the way she sings a lot of her songs. She loves adding a little sexiness and being different with her riffs. It was meant to be jazz-inspired. She wanted to stand out. Yes, because what a song about war and patriotism needs is a little more sexiness. Tyrese Gibson did his career no favors in 2017 when he repeatedly and publicly slammed Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for starring in a Fast and the Furious spin-off with Jason Statham called Hobbs and Shaw. However, it wasn't until 2018 that Gibson apparently realized it hit rock bottom. Gibson acknowledged as much during Van Latham's Red Pill podcast in July 2018.
Everything about, going at The Rock publicly, psych meds. I have yet to talk to The Rock to this day.
Though it sounds like Gibson wants to make amends, he may be motivated by a need for cash rather than friendship. The actor's ex-wife claimed in court documents that he's suffering financially, in part because he foolishly picked a fight with The Rock. Acclaimed director Woody Allen was accused of molesting his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, more than 20 years ago. The Los Angeles Times reported that sexual abuse experts and police investigated the allegations. But prosecutors and Dylan's mother, actress Mia Farrow, didn't want to pursue charges against Allen for fear of traumatizing then 7-year-old Dylan. A judge in the case said Allen's behavior toward Dylan was grossly inappropriate. Allen has denied the allegations repeatedly. All of that in addition to Allen's controversial marriage to Mia's adopted daughter, Soon-Yi Previn, hasn't been enough to stop Alan's success in the industry. But an incredibly tone-deaf interview he conducted in June 2018 might do just that. While being interviewed for the Argentinian news program Periodismo para Todos, Alan called himself a, quote, poster boy for the hashtag #MeToo movement. Alan went on to say, "I have worked in movies for 50 years. I've worked with hundreds of actresses, and not a single one ever suggested any kind of impropriety at all. I've always had a wonderful record with them."
Do you treat all the girls you desire this way?
Yes, I undress them and tie them up. Yes, I learned that in the Boy Scouts.
Lovely.
Alan's claims of a spotless record aren't entirely true. Marielle Hemingway, who starred in 1979's Manhattan, alleged in her memoir Out Came the Sun that Alan attempted to seduce her when she turned 18 and he was 44. In 2018, numerous stars of past Alan films renounced working with him ever again. Sources told Page Six in August 2018 that Alan's latest film, A Rainy Day in New York, may never see the light of day. Roseanne Barr had a #1 sitcom on TV with her reboot of Roseanne, but in May 2018, she threw it all away with a racist tweet. Barr took to social media to compare former Barack Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett's looks to the characters on Planet of the Apes. The tweet directly led to the show's cancellation, after which Barr tweeted, "I apologize to Valerie Jarrett and to all Americans. I am truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better." In spite of her apology, the comic couldn't get her job back. Insiders called said there was no way her career would survive her tirade. The rest of the cast was eventually rehired for The Conners, a spin-off of Roseanne that killed her character off after an opioid overdose. Since then, Barr has reportedly lost contact with everyone she worked with on the series. Barr told Vice News Tonight that she is no longer in contact with anyone from Roseanne. "I don't keep in touch with anyone on the show. I've been removed from the process of my life's work. It's like the worst thing they could have possibly done to me was to fire me from my own show and let other people write my life story. I'm not going to watch it, and I'm not going to condemn it or say anything bad about it either. I'm just moving on from it."